Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. Today we're holding in Zevachim Daf Aleph. We stopped yesterday because we decided to sleep on it, sleep on the discussion. We decided yesterday in Daf Peyamud Beis, we got to the last Toshma. Toshma, which is 7 lines to the bottom of Peyamud Beis. Now let's remember what we're talking about. We had over here a kashayla, we had a question. The question was, what was the reason that when you have blood that got mixed up, blood kosher, it got mixed up with blood, which is possible. According to blood, so you will sprinkle. Sorry, not blood, water. I said blood. Water, mechatos. They got mixed up with water, which is not good mechatos. Regular water, you have to sprinkle it twice. What does it do twice? Sometimes the why twice. So the more brought in the last explanation of Ravashi, because he holds ein bilo, meaning it does not mix up. So I can take liquid. And the fact that I have here 1 cup, and I take 1 drop, that drop could be regular water only, and not mechatos. So that's why it's a problem. That's how you have to do twice, because twice, according to Rashi, it makes sense. So one is questioning that. That's the end of our Mishnah. You have the ones that are given in one application, which is Chor and Meiser, given only one time on the Mizbech. They got mixed up with the ones that are the Torah Matana Achas. That's easy. You give it in one shot. If there's no bilo, why give only one application? I have a bucket of blood. I'm sprinkling on this bech. Maybe the blood that I put in his back is only the blood of the Bechor, not the Bechor, the blood of the Meiser. Maybe it's only the Meiser, not the Bechor. Well, how you tell me do only once? So the more going, Shenisarvu Achas Be'achas. I'll tell you what. We're talking about that you have exactly the measurement of 2. Meaning you have, let's say, 1 gallon of Bechor, of blood, and 1 gallon of blood of Meiser. They got mixed up. So I tell you to do the entire blood on the Mizbech in 1 shot. So now I know all the blood went into it. So it's not that I have 1 gallon out of 50, so maybe I'm doing the wrong one. I know that's here exactly 2 gallons, and that's why, as the Shittet says over here, I put the whole thing on the Mizbech, and that's how it works. And then let's continue the Mishnah. Gemara continues to quote the Mishnah. Matan Arba refers over here to Shnaim Shem Arba, which is a oilo. So you have a Matan Arba, they got mixed up with a Matan Arba. It says over here, you mix it together, you put it on Mizbech. Again, if Ein Bilo, maybe what I put it on Mizbech is only the matanos of 1 carbon. It was exact. That what got mixed up was 4 matanos of the par, and the 4 matanos of oil, 4 matanos of shlamim. And what I'm going to do is, and this is how the sheet explains, I'm going to read matana A of oila, come still matana A of shloim. So I put both as 1 matana. Matana A B of oila, come still matana B of shloim, and they put them together. Because if not, maybe I'm doing, if ain't bilo, maybe I'm doing 1 of oila, 2 of oila, and 2 of shloim. So you do the matanas got mixed up, and I'm giving the entire matana on the mizbech. Let's continue the Gemara. It says, it says in the Mishnah, that there are 4 matanas. Got mixed up with the Bechor and Meiser, which is 1 matana. What do? You put them in the machlekes. The machlekes in the Mishnah, do you do 4 or do you do 1? Why was the machlekes you do 4 and 1? You have Bal Teisif, you have Bal Tigra. Remember, that was the end of the Mishnah. That was the discussion. Says the Gemara, here's the note. According to the sheet of you bring that instead of the Mishnah. So you want to pay off on Dalev, even if you want to tell me that the 4, exactly 4 is Arbachas, Yeshua says you're doing Bal Teisif. Here's not Bal Teisif. He's putting exactly the 5 matanos. So he's doing. Now here it's a little complicated. Here it's a little.
Why it's not Bal Teisif?
Because anyway, you have to put the 5 matanos. Exactly what to put on the Mizbech. How many matanos do you have to put from oil on the Mizbech? 4. Shtayim Shemar. How many have to put on the Bechor? 1. What do I have over here? 5. So I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. It's not Bal Teisif. Now here, there's one thing which is missing. This was bothering me. I said the Shinu Kubetz has a longer richus, one of the longer richus, one of the last Shinu Kubetzes that you have, Ashmotis, and then the Masechta. And the Shinu Kubetz, there was no room on the page, they put it in the back. It's called Ashmotis. So, I think after there's only one more Ashmota. Many till now. So the Ashmotis of the Shinu Kubetzes, he does a whole cheshbon, and this, how exactly does it work? You have 4 and 1. Now, how is the 4 you do an oila? Shtaim Shem Arba. Which means you take the quarter, you do 2, take the quarter, you do 2. Where exactly do the 5th? The B'chor, I don't know which one is which. So the B'chor, do I do in the corner too? How would I put it? I have 5 matanas. I have the 4 of the B'chor, and I have the 4 of the oila, and I have the 1 of the B'chor. Now, what I'm going to do, the 4 of the oila, I'm doing Shtaim Shem Arba. That's what I'm supposed to do. Now I have a 5th one of the B'chor. What do I do with that? I don't know which one is which. Maybe I'm putting on the oil if I don't know which blood is which, and let's say I do the first 2, I put it on I do Shtaim Shem Arba. Maybe one of them is a B'chor, and I did oil only on one side. So the way the Shinu Kubetz explains it, and it needs more beer, but just to say what comes out for him, he's not doing 5, he's doing 4. He's going to do only 4 applications. It means he's going to do Shtaim Shem Arba, Shtaim Shem Arba. Because what he's doing is, he takes the 4 matanos, you have the 4 matanos of chatas, and you have 1 matana of bechor, and they're mixed together. Now what he's doing is, every one of the matanos, you give a little more than a matana. So the matana is supposed to be an ounce. He does an ounce and a half for each one. So I'm assuming that in each one I have over here, one of the matanos plus a little bit of the bechor. The bechor, I don't care where you put it. So
each of them have a bechor, then why is that not baltosis?
No, that's about baltosis. That's where Bishur disagrees. Bishur says I can't. That's exactly the point. Because Bishur says baltosis. But
the more says he came how can I be the Sarah he what's the more asks what's the baltosis?
Oh no, sorry, I didn't answer your question. It's not about baltosis because at the end of the day I'm doing only one. I'm doing one. You're saying the bechor itself is divided into 5.
What you're saying, the bechor is divided into 4 different applications, so there is baltosis. So what is it worse? I mean, Rabbi Shua has a good taina. There is baltosis over here.
Maybe because it's split.
Because it's not a full. You're saying
not a full. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I hear. To go get through the shita, it's on the cheshbon. But the point is, the one thing I want to take out of the shita is, when the word tells us they have 1, they got mixed up in 4. So he's going to put them in Mizbech. How many applications do on the Mizbech? 4 or 5? So it's not so clear in Rashi. They discuss it. The Shita says, it's a master from Rashi 5. Says, no, that can't be. It's not 5. He's doing 4, and each one will be a little bit more. Now he's saying, so what exactly, why is that about this? If you're nice, you're giving 4 matanas, it means it's not a full matana. You're doing a full matana of the oil, which is a little bit of the bechor. Okay, that's something just to have to be aware. Says the more is asking, it's not about Yosef. So the Gemara says, "Yachel will Yeshua, we will about Yosef. Yachel about Yosef, Yechezkel about Yosef."
It's not really about Yosef. He's not doing more than the 1.
But he's doing the 1 4 times. I hear. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe what you're saying is the answer. The line says matan rachas, just divide it into 4. Okay. So it says the Gemara is not about Yosef. Ela maravo. So Rava changes everything we learned till now. Meaning, what did we till now? What we did the last Amud. The last Amud, we assumed that by Rav Ashi says what?
I was saying, I think Rashi seems to be saying like what you're saying. If you look at Rashi and talk about this,
yeah,
ain't common on before. Look at the Matana. It doesn't seem to be bothering. That there might be, a little bit of before over here, a little bit of before over here.
Yeah, it's only Matana Achas.
One Matana.
Right, very good. Yeah, okay, very good. They're not arguable. Different than what we said till now. Till now we were going that when they're mixed, so then that's the machlekes, right? In other words, the whole discussion is mixed, and by mixed, they have a shaila of yesh bila, ein bila, no bila. What do I do? And bebol is no machlekes. Why is no machlekes? We're assuming that by bolu when it's mixed, so there is bila. Everybody agrees there's bila. Kipligi because we're talking about that I have separate cups. Meaning the whole machlekes is when I'm putting on the mizbeach an extra cup, do I see that cup is water? That's all. But if it's mixed, Then everybody agrees Yesh Bila. Let's see Rashi. Rashi do a matchil elo marov. Just to get a little flavor of how he's changing the Gemara. Elo marov kol anoch shinuye de shaninon. All the answers we had till now, loy teshani, don't answer. Tevadar techtoinim olo diktani. When it says that the bottom one goes, Bailey Shiv Shirayim Ben Tchia Soil Karm. It works for both, even for oil. Umastin Matandal Matanachas B'di Katuv Mikol Chad. Is a many a lot. Kedoma. Fa'afilu Achil Tishu Minol Avloz Yeshbilo. The Tiksha Avashi. Teikal Shinuye Hamastis Deleil Del Yoyim Techtoinim. Umastin Matandal Matanachas Labe Bolplik. Now I'm getting mixed up. And what the Rav is crisis. I said there's no bilo. It could be that there is no bilo. But I'm not talking about bolo. They're not mixed. Change what I just said that maybe everybody agrees yesh bilo. So no, you can say and bilo. I'm not talking about bilo. V'kol ha'avlozo b'ilyoyim techtoyim nitem mishneyem lemalo v'lemato mishnei ksherim v'reni sadam lemala kilu mayim. You put everything on top, and then whatever is extra, you look at it as water. Chen bo'oil v'chor then dam kol kois v'reni tzatosef kilu mayim. V'rabonu leisuroy v'shavach lam. Now, so Rashi goes on to say why I don't want to say that they argue also in Bol. Says the Gemara, Ubi Bolu. So the Machlek has nothing to do with our Mishnah is have nothing to do with mixed up. Similar with Bolu, please you want to tell me not to argue when it's mixed? Vatanya it says in the Braiso, you have Omer Avyudo. Avyudo learns different than our Mishnah. He argues in our Mishnah, but we're going to learn from Avyudo to our Mishnah. You could be makar. Everybody agrees that there you say the extra will be water. Because that's disgraceful. The only question is when you have balasmum, Rabbi says you makar. Doesn't matter if it's mixed or not. I mean it's cups or not. So says the Gemara, what do you see over here? You see that according to Rabbi Yehuda, the machlek is decided when it's mixed, decided when it's not mixed. So the one understands the Chorosha, even though our Mishnah is arguing Rabbi Yehuda, but at least they agree in this point. So they want to know Rabbi Yehuda leave that blows of mate ben ebol mekayis ebol mekayis. Now, Rabbi Yehuda is the one who explains it also when they mix, but according to Rabbanon, it's not by mix, and that's why we're saying that the oil works and the chatas works because we're not talking about mix, I'm talking about putting the kaisis on the mizbeach. Okay. Says the Gemara. So that's the Gemara who's now, the more they get back to it, one more line about this at the end of the daf. So that's why it's good that we start over here. But we'll get to that in a moment. The Gemara now says, to answer all the questions we have right now, we're not talking about mixed, so there's no problem. Ein bila, yesh bila, ein bila, yesh bila is only when it's mixed. Here's not mixed, talk about just cups. The whole discussion is tchilas chatos voim, meaning I have chatos. Tchilas chatos means the zrikas of chatos. Where do you put the zrika of chatos? Behema, top of the mizbeach. Where do you put the zrika of the oil? In the bottom. So I have a problem. Tachtoinim, elyoinim. What should I do? Blazer says put everything. You put a bottle, will be okay because even if you put the oil, it's going to be water. Rabbanan say it does not work. That's the machlokes. Aval soif chatos. What is soif chatos? What's the end of the chatos? Shirayim, the leftover. The oilo and the oilo, they both go in the bottom part of the mizbech. Tibia kol mokam oilo mokam shirayim. All agree, it's the same place. Now what's a chiddush? Where do we usually put shirayim? If I ask you, shirayim, where does it go? Where do you apply it? Where? On your site. On the base of the mizbech. So here the chiddush is, even though you're supposed to put it on the site, but if you put it on top, on the wall facing the yeshiva, it's also good enough. I don't have to put it on the yeshiva mamish. So if I have over here, right, I have here, this is called the yeshiva. It's not a great example of the yeshiva, but that's the yeshiva. And I have on top of the mizbech, really I should put the shirayim over here. But even if I put it on the wall, right below it, right above it, it's also okay. That's what we're saying. So that's why if I have shirayim of chatos and oilo, you put in the same place.
It's going to drip down?
Yeah, because it drip down. I mean, I'm not worried about it. The wall coming to the yesod is good enough.
Where's the alma compared to the yesod?
The alma's on the floor. Yeah, and the floor of it's like a drainage system of Beis Hamikdash.
It's not attached to the wall.
I don't think so. I don't think it's attached to the wall. I don't think so. So he says. So what do you see over here? We say so. That's what the first one number holds. No. Shiraim need to have a ledge. Need to have a. You don't put shiraim on the wall. You put shiraim on the base. So even if I have a mixture of shiraim and oil, I have a problem because the oil needs to go on the wall and the shiraim goes in the base. So I have the same issue that I have if I have chatas and oil.
So it's the soil.
Yeah, itzba means platform. That's it. So it means I have to put it on a itzba. It means on the yisoid. Right? Similar thing we have, and there was in a quarter, very similar thing. In the beginning, he said the same thing we said before. We talk about the zrika of chatas and oilo. Then when you have mixed up, shilas to put on top or on the bottom. Meaning the wall is good enough for both. No, I disagree. Still machlekes. Why is still machlekes? Because I hold the shirai needs to be on the itztaba. And you have the same issue. If I put it on the wall, I'm not yet to shirai. Put it on the itztaba, meaning on the side, I'm not yet to the oilo. So I have the same issue. According to Ablazo, you do it. I look at it as water. According to Ablazo, not. It says in the post of Kodesh, it's extra words. It says from here, if you got mixed up with other kachim, just put it in the mizbech. My love, soif oilo ubichor. In what got mixed up? The shiraim of oilo and bechor. Why would we think shiraim and oil and bechor? Because they both were given in the same atona. Meaning shiraim, I just spill it, and bechor, I just spill. So the more thought, maybe we talk about the shiraim of oilo and bechor. Shiraim no mokav oilo mokav shiraim. You see that shiraim and zriko go in the same place, which is the wall of the bottom of the beach. Similar, tchilas oilo bechor. No, talk about not shiraim. The zriko of oilo, the zriko bechor. They both are done on the wall. So they go, my kamash, what's the chiddush? Then oilo mivatim zedze. It teaches you that when I have korbanos that mix with each other, they don't cancel each other. I can do one zrika for both, as we saw in our Mishnah. That's what we love in the post of Kodesh. Says the Gemara, we have a different mocker for that. What's the mocker? By Yom Kippur. We know in Yom Kippur, there is 3 stages, the Ikar stages of Yom Kippur. Stage 1 is Kodesh Kadosh, the blood. Zrika is the blood. The first place where you put it is in Kodesh Kadosh. Second stage of the Avodah is you throw the blood where? In Yom Kippur? On the Parichis. Touch the Parichis. Does not touch the Parichis, out of the discussion of the Gemara. The third stage is you do it on the Mizbech. Now, the first 2 stages, I throw the blood of the par, the bull, alone, and the blood of the seir alone. That's what I do in Kodesh Kadashim. That's what I do in the Eichel. But when I come to the Mizbeach, so then I have to, the din is, according to one on the Omar, I mix the par and seir together into one bucket, and I put it on the Mizbech. If you mix it, you're canceling it. Especially that the par is much more than the seir. The par is a bull. It's much more blood than the seir. So you're canceling it. From here you see it doesn't cancel each other. That's what Gemara says.
We said that mitzvahs don't cancel each other.
That's mitzvahs. Mitzvahs is something else. Here we're talking about kachim.
Kachim can be canceled.
I would think so. It has to be a mocker that doesn't. So Gemara says, "I'm looking at the par without a seir. After you learn from the fact you keep whether you mix the par without a seir. So they want to know you eat the nafka l'me'ocha. We can have have 2 psukim, and we'll see in one moment that we can have a third pasuk, and the last one we need all three. Mesi Rav asked Rav, "V'krivum ne'aroim esadam, v'zarku esadam." So this one Dharma holds the word dam is extra. You could have just said v'krivum ne'aroim v'zarku. Obviously, you're throwing. What are you throwing? You're throwing blood. So why the word blood twice is extra? Why it says the word dam twice? When you have an oilo that got mixed up with a tumura, which is the exchange of the oilo, you mix it up, you put it on the mizbech, and you're fine. Meaning, in mechaim, it's shaykh to akro. Even though tumura you don't do, but it's shaykh to it because it's considered to be also an oilo. How do I know? Even when it's alive, I take one of them and do a korban. That if they got mixed up the blood, it works. Okay, Okay, so I want to add something. I'll add Toy L'Shtoy because they come as donation as the oil. Come on, so. I know Oshom, which is for a chait. Oshom, you have to put 4 applications like the oil L'Shtayim Shemar. I know which is only 1 application. So we learn a pasuk dam dam that when the blood mixes up, they work. So well, my love, what are we talking about? Same question as before. So if oil meaning shirayim or bichor, then when they mix up, you put it in the same place. Where? On the wall of the mizbeach. The wall of the mizbeach. How can you put shirayim on the wall? You see, the shirayim can be on the wall. The shirayim can be on the wall. Talk about the zrika of the oil and bukhar. If they mix up, you put on the mizbeach. My gosh, what's the chiddush? I'm going to put it in that place. So one day, same limud. Just to tell you, it doesn't cancel each other. So the one we learn from Kippurim. So we have more basically summarized right now. I have 3 different psukim to teach me 3 different sources that Tanoim argue which one is the ikar to tell me that ein dam vatal dam. Right? I have 3 different sources. Now the shaila is, if I have 3 different sources, why do I need all 3? In other words, why each one doesn't agree with the source of the other one? That's the shaila. So, this with over because when right, so why do we need all 3? Says the Gemara. The first 2 Tanoim. Why did the first Tana and the third Tana, they learned that the oil and lim and not from the pasuk Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, you mix it together and it's still okay. Says the Gemara, Kasavi ein me'arim lakanis. They hold you don't mix it. Remember we mentioned it's a machlekes. Do you mix the parents say Yom Kippur? They hold you don't mix it. There's no right. Midam dam lo yalif. Why the other 2 Tanoim don't learn from dam dam? Dam dam lo mashvalom. Dam dam means you have extra words. So that's a machlekes. Is that considered to be extra words or not? Ela mikoy d'shem ma'tam lo yafi. Why don't they learn for the first pasuk? Kasavi koy d'shem am craving ain't to also crave. That's the source that tomorrow you don't bring the mizbech. V'idach nafalim im shor im se laHashem who carving to also crave. So the question is, what is the source for tomorrow? The shot of this pasuk is used something else, but that's why we have different sources that you don't marry. Good. Says what Toshman Nosa we saw before. So yesterday's daf. Nosa l'malav v'loy nimlach. He put on top and didn't ask any questions. So Elu ve'elu one of the moedim she yachzav eat and lamatas. Then everybody agrees, just put in the bottom. Why? Because now that I put in the top, so according to Rabbanon, yesh bila. I put on top, I put chatas on top too. I put osloilu, which is the problem. But you did it already, too late. So now what do I do with the rest? Put it on the bottom. The bottom, you're good. What are you going to put in the bottom? In the bottom, I'm going to put on the bottom part of the mizbeach. 1 second, maybe it's oila. Perfect. Oila is supposed to be the bottom part. Oh, 1 second, maybe it's chatos. It's shirayim. That's what we learned. That's how we were learning the Mishnah till now, right? If you did the top, put it on the bottom is no problem. According to everybody. Why? You want to check. If it's oilo, givaldik. If it's chatos, it's shirayim. You see the shirayim is put in the same place of the zrik of the oilo on the wall. Says the Gemara. Let's see. No, son the man of lo nimlach. If he didn't ask questions, but he agrees to put in the bottom. Both chatos and oilo work. My love, the aru chatos v'oilo. Chatos got mixed up. So when you put it on top, what do you have left over is the shirayim. You put it both together. So you see the area of the oil and shirayim in the same place. Says the Gemara, no. No. We're not talking about the chatos with arev be'oilo. We're talking about chatos with shirayim. Not chatos oilo. Chatos is going to mix up with shirayim. So what should you do? Well, it says put it on top. In worst case, you're putting water. When it says no, It's not considered to be water. So don't do it on top because you're putting shirayim on top. But if you did do it on top, so now when I'm going to put the leftover, where are you going to put the leftover? On the side. If it's the original chatos, now it's turned to be shirayim. If it's the shirayim is supposed to be there. In other words, I'm not putting it on the wall. I'm putting it on the side. Very good.
In this case, where would be the two chatas got mixed up, the chatas considered.
One second, we didn't get there. We didn't get the chatas. Right now, it's only chatas chitzon and the shirayim. Right? Chatas to the shirayim. Sorry. Right? Right? Just say they got mixed up. The Arab Chades B'Shirayim. So I skipped something. I apologize. Unless the blue Gemaras have a different girsa. Do you have which Gemara? You have the blue Gemaras? I think they have a different girsa over here. No?
No, I think it's supposed to be when he gives the answer. How am I saying? Going to the Arab Chatas and Chitzon B'Shirayim. I think it means B'Shirayim
Hapnimi.
B'Shirayim Hapnimi, which is that's what Rashi.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry, right. That's what I got mixed up. Okay, you're right, 100%. The Shirayim Hapnimi, right. You're 100%. Let's go first of all through the Pshat of the Gemara. Says the Gemara, we're talking about the Chatas Chitzon that got mixed up with Shirayim of the Primi. Primi means the Chatas of Primis. They have shirayim, they have to go outside. Where does shirayim and chatas primis go? In the bottom of his back. The reason why, in the simple, before the Gemara goes to explain in a moment, the reason why what's the chiddush over here is to tell you that chatas primis cannot get mixed with chatas chitzonis. It's two different places. Chatas primis goes inside, chatas chitzonis goes outside. But the shirayim of chatas primis goes outside too. So when I have chatas chitzonis that goes outside on the top, because mixed up the shirayim is still a problem. But once I did chatas chitzonis on top, they both go on the bottom. There's two shirayim. So I asked the Gemara, why do you have to tell me they got mixed up with shirayim and chatas primis? Say they got mixed up with shirayim and chatas itself. I mean, one chatas got mixed up with shirayim of that chatas. So the Gemara, I'll tell you what, it's a side chiddush. You know what the chiddush is? You hold, even if you, but chatos primis, there is a mandama that holds that I must do shirayim. I mean, I have to put in Chatas Primis. The Chatas is done in the Eichel. I throw the blood on the Eichel, in the Mizbech. And the leftover, I do outside. That leftover is Me'akiv. Usually, Shirayim is not Me'akiv. But there's one, the whole, the Chatas Primis, Shirayim is Me'akiv. Now here, the Shirayim got mixed up with something else. So I don't have full Shirayim. Not everything is going to go in the right place. So what's the Chiddush? Even though I'm missing some of it, it's still okay. I need to do it, but I don't have to do the whole thing. I can do part of it. That's the chiddush. I would think that if shirayim is me'akev, you can be missing one drop. Chiddush is no. Shirayim is me'akev, but you don't have to have the whole thing. Even a portion is okay. Says the Muhammad Robert to Saftal Ravino. Just this is to bring the sugit all together. How Karina Ibi Rubel Yoini Vikrayv Lamala Shut Tachtani Void. So I don't understand the question. Didn't you remember that yesterday's daf? We went through the whole cheshbon to tell you that the only thing that works is only for chatos. That's all. To tell you, because you're putting on top. Let's go back to the example we said yesterday. There's a gallon of oil that got mixed up with chatos. He puts on top more than a gallon, so I know that for sure there's a little chatos on top. What he puts in the bottom works for chatos, does not work for oil. That's what this yesterday. So here, it does not work for the shirayim, it works only for the chatos. So your whole cheshbon, they should work for the shirayim, the shirayim works. We're talking about here that there's more chatos than oil. That's what I was asking. Well, you just said, and it does not work for it. Right? So also, as Rashi points out, you want to tell me the chiddush is the mokam oil and mokam shirayim. No, oil doesn't work. Oil doesn't work. The oil you're asking, you're putting the oil and the shirayim in the same place. No, I'm not. I'm not putting the oil and the shirayim in the same place. Because I don't care about the oil. The oil won't work anyway. That's what we said yesterday, that it works only for chatas. Says the Gemara, "Ani mila man over me karein bilo." It's gonna be kaisus pligi. Oh, so we know that was yesterday's daf. Before the change, it came in today's daf. Yesterday's daf, we wanted to say ain bilo. They don't mix up. So I tell you, if they don't mix up, so maybe I'm not putting oil on the bottom. So you're right. I'm not. The oil doesn't work. It works only for Chavis. But after we came today's daf and said we're not talking about mixed up, talking about different cups. So I don't have to get to that scenario. So we said to put in the bottom, talking about to put in the bottom, chatos and oilo, and they both, meaning I'm doing the shiraim of the chatos and the oilo, and the chur is the zarai over here, the mokum oilo, the mokum of the shiraim, and the mokum of the oilo the same place, unless you come and explain to me, we're not talking about they got mixed up with oilo, they got mixed up with chatos, premiers, shiraim, chatos, and premiers. Say I go over and say, shakoyach.